Hey, welcome back to the channel for another video. If you are stopping by for the first time, please do me a favor, subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. This is the second quarterly portfolio update video that I'm doing. I will be sharing with you how much I invested during the second quarter of 2022, the number of shares that I bought, and the value of my portfolio at the end of the quarter, which was June the 30th, 2022. I will also show you how much dividend payments I received for the second quarter. But before I continue, a quick disclaimer. The information that I'm sharing does not constitute financial advice. Before you invest in anything, please do your own research and make sure that you only invest in things that you understand. With that being said, I will dive right into my portfolio update. I will start with a recap of my portfolio as of March the 31st, 2022, as this was the last day of the first quarter. So you can see the value of my portfolio and the number of shares that I had before the beginning of the second quarter. The total equity of my portfolio as of March the 31st, 2022 was $21,157.90. $21,001.86 was the market value of my portfolio, and $156.04 was a cash amount. As of March the 31st, 2022, my portfolio was up by $523.29. This was 2.49%. You can see my holdings here. I have two Vanguard ETFs and two BlackRock ETFs. The first Vanguard ETF is VCN. This is an ETF that tracks the Canadian market. And as of March the 31st, 2022, I had 44 shares of VCN. This was 9.19% of the market value of my portfolio. The second Vanguard ETF is VFV. This is an S&P 500 index ETF. And as of March the 31st, 2022, I had 108 shares of VFV. This was 51.30% of the market value of my portfolio. The first BlackRock ETF is XEQT. This is an all-in-one equity ETF which holds Canadian equities, US equities, developed market equities other than US and Canada, and emerging market equities. And as of March the 31st, 2022, I had 150 shares of XEQT. This was 18.68% of the market value of my portfolio. The second BlackRock ETF is XUU. This is a US total market ETF. And as of March the 31st, 2022, I had 100 shares of XUU. This was 20.09% of the market value of my portfolio. As you can see here, all my ETFs were up as of March 31st, 2022. VCN was up by $165, VFV $238, XEQT $12, and XUU $107. I will now show you how much I invested during the second quarter of 2022 and the number of shares that I bought. During the second quarter of 2022, I bought 6 shares of VCN. The cost per share was $41.52. The total cost $249.10. And this represents 3% of the total amount that I invested during the quarter. I bought 46 shares of VFV. The cost per share was $92.26. The total cost $4,244, and this represents 54% of the total amount that I invested during the quarter. I bought 80 shares of XEQT. The cost per share was $24.54. The total cost $1,964.47. And this represents 25% of the total amount that I invested during the quarter. I bought 36 shares of XUU. The cost per share was $38.84. The total cost $1,398.07. And this represents 18% of the total amount that I invested during the quarter. In total, I bought 168 shares, all of the ETFs combined, during the second quarter of 2022. And the total amount that I invested was $7,854.64. This is $1,929.98 more than the amount that I invested in Q1. As you can see here, in Q1, I invested $5,924.66, and in Q2, $7,854.64. The difference is $1,929.98. I will now show you the value of my portfolio and the number of shares that I had as of the end of the second quarter, which was June the 30th, 2022. The total equity of my portfolio as of June the 30th, 2022 was $25,504.83. $25,430.04 was the market value of my investments, and $74.79 was the cash amount. As you can see here, at the end of the second quarter, my portfolio was down by $2,904.17. This is minus 10.25%. My portfolio went from plus 2.49% at the beginning of the quarter to minus 10.25% at the end of the quarter. You can see my holdings here again. And as of June the 30th, 2022, I had 50 shares of VCN. And this was 7.47% of the market value of my portfolio. 154 shares of VFV. This was 52.25% of the market value of my portfolio. 230 shares of XEQT. This was 20.53% of the market value of my portfolio. 136 shares of XUU. And this was 19.45% of the market value of my portfolio. And you can see here, as of June the 30th, 2022, all my ETFs were down. VCN was down by $123, VFV $1,532, XEQT $666, XUU $581. I will now show you how much I received in dividend payments for the second quarter. I had 50 shares of VCN on the record date. The dividend amount per share was 29 cents. The dividend amount that I received was $14.63. And this represents 13% of the total amount of dividend that I received. I had 154 shares of VFV on the record date. The dividend amount per share was 28 cents. The amount of dividend that I received was $43.27. And this represents 38% of the total amount of dividend that I received. I had 222 shares of XEQT on the record date. The dividend amount per share was 19 cents. The dividend amount that I received was $42.18. And this represents 37% of the total amount of dividend that I received. I had 132 shares of XUU on the record date. The dividend amount per share was 10 cents. The dividend amount that I received was $12.54. And this represents 11% of the total amount of dividend that I received. In total, I received $112.62 in dividend payments for the second quarter of 2022. This is $47.48 more than the amount that I received in Q1. As you can see here, in Q1, I received $65.14, and in Q2, $112.62. The difference is $47.48. All right, this brings us to the end of the video. Feel free to leave a comment below. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace out.